I've had some comments on my previous videos asking whether I think a DML panel would be suitable for a guitar amp, and today we're going to find out. I myself am a sometimes enthusiastic bedroom guitarist. I'm a bit of a hack really, but we're not here to judge my playing, we're here to try this concept out, right? So as a bedroom guitarist, this is the type of amp that I'm looking to replace today. So it's a 25 watt solid state amplifier. What I'm actually going to be building today isn't an amplifier, it's a speaker. So I'm still going to need amplification to drive it. And that's where this comes in. Hot tone, hot one, I don't know. Let's call it Hotone. It's a Hotone Siva Boogie 5 watt guitar amplifier. What I'm building is going to look something like this. Yeah, every time I build something, it's in a rectangular frame. In fact, I've got two of these, and the plan is to set these up like that with a panel in the middle, and it's going to be bolted right through. And I'm going to admit right now, I'm not doing anything particularly original from the construction point of view. Although I haven't seen it used for guitar amps, this is basically just what I'm doing in my previous speakers. So as far as wiring, it's going to look something like this. From the amp's output, we go into the speaker input jack. Then up the positive wire, we go through a 4 ohm resistor into my 4 ohm exciter. And I've added the resistor just to make a total of 8 ohms. They're going to be wired in series, as you can see. And as many bedroom guitarists will know, you spend most of your time like making really tiny adjustments, like at 1.5 on the volume dial, or maybe up to 2 if you're feeling a bit raunchy. But just a few watts into a guitar amp in a home setting can be really loud. So I'm adding a bit of extra resistance there to keep the volume down so that I've got more volume control to play with, basically. Out of the negative there, we come back and you can see that I've also got a capacitor across this. That's just to help roll off the highs. So one thing about a guitar speaker that you don't want is that really extended treble up to like above 10 kilohertz. I've calculated that to be roughly the right value. We'll see, I can always swap it out if needed. These components are going to have to live somewhere, and there's no cabinet for them to live in, so I guess we better cut some channels in that wood. So here's a view of the basic construction. It's pretty simple. I've just got a wood frame at the top here, well the front, and then a rubber grommet that separates the panel from the frame. And that's just one of these. It's meant for furniture. The panel obviously, then another stopper, and then another frame. So that's all pretty easy. The overall panel dimensions are 1 centimeter smaller than the frame dimensions, if that makes sense. And here you can see where the electronics will be hiding. So my capacitor and the resistor, they are slightly proud of the frame, but they're not enough to foul the panel when it's vibrating, just because I made that amount kind of less than the rubber stoppers there, so that should never touch. Okay, so I've got my network done. Again, I know this isn't the tidiest work, but it'll do. So you can see my plug here. This will come from the amp, and the positive wire is this top one here. So it runs along and comes in for the resistor. This will go up to the positive terminal on the exciter, then the negative line runs back around here and into the other side of the capacitor there and back to the plug. So now all that's left is to put everything together, solder that in and give it a go. Alright, cut. Here's a new one. I'd used this solid core wire just to try and keep the wiring neat and keep it away from the panel. But when I actually plugged this thing in and went to do some measurements, wasn't getting any sound. Plugged in a guitar, same thing. So eventually I busted out the multimeter and found out that this wiring isn't conducting anything. It's really weird. So I looked it up online just to double check. I thought maybe I bought the wrong thing. I'm not really an expert. Had a look at the product listings for this, and it does say suitable for crossover components and other stuff like that. So I'm a bit confused. I'll put a photo of this up on the screen. If anyone knows why this isn't working, please let me know. I would love to know because I was really hoping I could use this more often. So wiring done, or redone, I guess. On the downside, doesn't look as neat as with the other wire, but on the plus side, it should actually work. So, there's that. Let's just see how it sounds. Not bad. I think it's maybe a little sharp at the top end still, so I might need to experiment with that capacitor, swap it out for something of a different value. Still, sounds pretty sweet. What about pedals? Alright, so this is my little pedal board. In case you're wondering, it's up on here and not on the floor because I'm powering the amp from the pedal board's power supply, which is a pretty cool benefit of having a tiny amp, I guess. Anyway, the cable's only like that long, so they have to sit together. So what do we got? A little bit of chorus. Still pretty sweet. There's a little bit of buzzing coming from somewhere. Track that down. Alright, distortion. How about this? Cool. So it works, sounds like an amp, looks cool. Anyway, this is just the first pass. I think maybe the next step, the next obvious step is to try and integrate an actual amp into something in this kind of package, which would be really cool. Bit of a challenge though, I'm not quite sure how to go about that, but let's give it some thought. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for joining me, and let me know if you have any questions or suggestions, or have any idea what was going on with my solid core wire. That'd be great. Thanks.